क्वेश्चन नंबर 51 से हम दोबारा से स्टार्ट करते हैं. Okay, so let's talk about question number 51, which is a very easy question and have been repeated multiple times in previous year. And last year also we had a question on this in December 2019, right? So let's see something about question number 51, which is nothing. You have to just remember the guidelines given by CPCB for National Ambient Air Quality Standards. Right. So the question says what? It says that according to National Ambient Air Quality Standard, which is NET-JRF, the annual limit for PM10, which is coarse particulate matter, and PM2.5, and you have to see this thing which they have mentioned in these brackets, ecologically sensitive areas. So they could ask you in the residential areas, they could ask you in the industrial areas, they could ask you in ecologically sensitive areas. So let's see some of the briefings of the topic before we enter into these limits, because there is one table which you has to remember. Yeah. So this is the table given by CPCB with respect to different areas. So you need to target these areas. Like here they mention concentration of in ambient air with specific respect to the areas. Like I will be highlighting those areas. So if they ask you industrial, residential and rural and other areas, and specifically they had made a column for ecologically sensitive areas, which is notified by central government, which are the ecologically sensitive area. And in this question specifically they have asked about ecologically sensitive area. So you can see here the particulate matter they are asking about PM10. If you go in ecologically sensitive area, right, and if you talk about annual, so annual it is 60, for 24 hour it is 100 microgram per meter cube. And on the same time, if you ask about PM 2.5, I am mentioning those things which are been mentioned in the question, right? 2.5. So if you say in the ecologically sensitive area, it is 40 for annual, right, and 60 for 24 hours. So you have to keep this in mind. So for annual, it will be 60 for PM10 and 40 for PM2.5 when it comes to ecologically sensitive areas. Although in the both, like industrial areas, it is also same, 60-40, 60-40. But when it comes to 24 hour, it is 160 and 160. Almost it is same. Both the side the data is same, specifically with respect to PM2.5 and PM10. So from the given choices, if you ask the question, then 60-40 would be the correct answer as given here in option number 2, because they have mentioned here strictly, if you see annual limits, so you have to see annual limits, because they are not asking 24 hour. अगर 24 आवर पूछते तो यहीं पे ये 100 और 60 हो जाता. अगर 24 आवर पूछते तो 100 और 60 हो जाता, because they have asked annual limits. So annual limits for PM10 is 60 microgram per meter cube. On the other hand, PM2.5 it is 40 microgram per meter cube. So option 2 would be the correct answer for question number 51. Is it clear to everyone? Anyone having any doubt in this? It's a very simple question. You just have to see those values. And we always share this ambient air quality standards with you. Right. So the full table is given in your selected solution. You can see easily. Right. Generally, they ask about PM 2.5, 10, SO2, NO2, CO, then sometime for benzene also. Is it clear? Question number 51 clear to everyone? Jaldi bataiye bhaiya. Question number 51 clear to everyone. Now let's move to the question number 52. Question number 52 we are moving. Very good question again from chlorofluorocarbons. Right. Chlorofluorocarbon again, very good question. So let's see about question number 52. So this is question number 52 in front of our screen. Yeah. So question number 52, they are asking about, this is basically assertion reason question, and the assertion says what? Assertion says what? Hydrofluorocarbon HFCs and hydrochlorofluorocarbon HCFCs, right, are used to substitute compounds for chlorofluorocarbon. Absolutely true. जो क्लोरोफ्लोरोकार्बन कैटेगरी है उसको रिप्लेस करने के लिए ही हाइड्रोफ्लोरोकार्बन एंड हाइड्रोक्लोरोफ्लोरोकार्बन्स को मार्केट में लाया गया था, राइट, सो दैट वी कैन सेव द ओजोन लेयर, राइट, so that we can save the ozone layer, ozone depleting potential, because these substances, chlorofluorocarbons, were damaging our ozone, stratospheric ozone basically, which is protective in nature, and having a good amount of right, good amount of like global warming potential also, right. So hydrofluorocarbons and hydrochlorofluorocarbons are used to substitute compounds for chlorofluorocarbon. This is absolutely true and the statement is correct. This is true. Okay, so this is absolutely true. Then in the reasons what they have mentioned, you can see here, hydrochlorofluorocarbons and hydrofluorocarbons are quite susceptible to reaction with OH radical in the troposphere. Absolutely true, because they have active hydrogen with them and they can easily react with OH radical. That's why they were having lesser lifetime and hence lesser chances to be in the environment, and that's why they are not able to damage our ozone. They are not able to damage our ozone so much, right? So hydrochlorofluorocarbon and hydrofluorocarbon, they are susceptible to reaction with OH radical, right? OH radical is also very important if you ask me. So they easily react with OH radical and get vanished from the environment, right? That's why they do not pose any more threat in comparison to CFCs for global warming or ozone depletion, right? So this is absolutely true and both are explaining. So the correct answer here for 52 is first. So the correct answer here for 52 is first. So both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of A. So option number 1 is the correct answer for question number 52. Anyone having any doubt in understanding this concept wise, please let me know. I will clarify that. All the people who are sitting in this session. Anyone having any doubt? Anyone? Okay, clear. So now let's move to the next question. We have given all the briefings in the selected solutions. You can see here we have given all the briefings here, like what comes for CFCs, and we have seen. So it has been mentioned the quantities, and here you can see the ozone depleting potential and lifetime in years, which is one of the criteria for asking the question. So these two columns become very important, right? So these two columns become very important, right? So this become very important for like lifetime perspective also. Okay, and then global warming potential also is important for these substances, these columns which I am highlighting. You must have a look at. Okay, now let's move to the next question, which is question number 53. Here we have mentioned all the details of these, like what are the applications, everything have been mentioned, why they are alternatives, why use alternatives, right? So as I told you, right, global warming potential and the ozone depleting thing is the main criteria which have been highlighted. Now let's move to the question number 53, which is a very important question. Question number 53. Question number 53 says what? So let's see what question number 53 says that. So if you talk about question number 53, it is basically the question from phytoremediation, which have been multiple times repeated. So when you talk about bioremediation basically we have two broad categories. One is called as phytoremediation, where we use plant and the plant part for the decontaminations of heavy metals or pesticides, So when you use plant or any other part of the plants for the remediation of heavy metals or detoxifying the heavy metals, that comes under the category of phytoremediation. And you can also use microbes, right, or other small organisms for the decontamination, right? So the overall broad term is bioremediation, if you ask me. But let's talk about just first see, let's some of the briefing of this bioremediation. If I see, right, and it is like well known that these plant have capability for, like, we have phytoremediation, right? So when you talk about phytoremediation, there are a number of phytoremediation strategies, and they have been mentioned in detail in our solution. Last year also there was a question. So there are a number of phytoremediation strategies that are applicable for the remediation of heavy metals contaminated soil, like phytostabilization, using a plant to reduce heavy metals bioavailability, where it stabilizes that. Then phytoextraction, using the plant to extract the remove or heavy metal from soil. Phytovolatilization, using the plant to absorb heavy metal from the soil and release it to atmosphere. Then we have phytofiltration, using the hydroponically, right, which is like soilless culture plant to absorb heavy metals from groundwater and aqueous waste. Other phytoremediation strategies include phytodegradation and rhizodegradation, which are used for breakdown of organic pollutant. So we focus mostly widely used phytoremediation strategies as phytostabilization, phytoextraction, which have been mentioned, volatilization, filtration, and remediation. So these are the main steps which are there in the case of phytoremediation. Like each and every one have been explained very well. You can go through the briefings. All of you have the availability of the solution, especially the subscription people, right? They are having it, and we have given certain contaminant also, like technology which is used in situ or something like that. Then the main thing is in the questions. Let's move to the question which they have been asking here. They're asking here basically about the phytoremediation only. Now let's see this question. Okay, so they say that consider the following statement regarding the phytoremediation of metal contaminate sites, right? So they are asking that let us suppose you have a site and you are remediating it. You want to remediate it. Okay, you want to remediate, or you want to do the phytoremediation of that site. So how you will, what are the statements which are correct with respect to that, right? So when we talk about this, so let's see each and every statement very carefully, because in such kind of question you have to read the statement very carefully. That is my suggestion to you guys, because these questions are very simple. Just by reading them in rush you make a mistake. So let's see the option number 1. It says that natural abilities of certain plant species are utilized to remove or stabilize toxic metal. This statement is absolutely true. Let me tell you why, right? Because we have to choose the correct answer from the given option. See, there are certain plants which are capable of absorbing or accumulating these heavy metals, which we call as hyperaccumulator, right? Which we call as hyperaccumulator, such for example like sunflower, mustard, right? There are a lot of other plants which have been reported to absorb these heavy metal and stabilize them. So that is the natural tendency of those plants. Like we have many fern also, like azolla, right? So they can absorb those heavy metals. So these are the natural abilities which have been exploited by the human being for the decontamination. So these plants are known to be absorbing some of the heavy metals which we explore in uh, phytoremediation, right? So this statement is absolutely true, because अगर वो natural ability नहीं होगी तो phytoremediation का concept ही नहीं आएगा उस plant के लिए, right? Then next we see certain species, like I said you, certain species termed as hyperaccumulator can absorb 50 to 100 times larger amounts of metal compared to most ordinary plant. Absolutely true, because these hyperaccumulator, they accumulate a huge quantity of heavy metal in their body. We call them as hyperaccumulator. Hyper means होता है बहुत ज्यादा. So वो इन कंपैरिजन टू नॉर्मल प्लांट के 50 to 100 टाइम्स ज्यादा अपनी बॉडी के अंदर एक्यूमुलेट कर सकते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल सनफ्लावर का आपने सुना होगा बहुत ज्यादा. मस्टर्ड इज आल्सो वन ऑफ देम, right? Okay, so these kind of things exist, so this statement is also true. Then we come to the third statement: the best candidate for removal of phytoremediation are arsenic and cadmium. The best candidate for removal by phytoremediation are arsenic and cadmium. ये किसने बोला कि यही बेस्ट कैंडिडेट है? मरकरी भी रिमूव होता है भाई, कॉपर भी रिमूव होता है, ऑल द अदर मेटल्स कैन आल्सो बी रिमूव्ड, ठीक है? यूरेनियम का भी डिकंटामिनेशन करने के लिए यूज करते हैं बहुत सारे, ठीक है? देयर आर एन नंबर ऑफ हैवी मेटल्स, निकल भी है, ठीक है, गोल्ड भी है, सिल्वर भी है, बहुत सारी चीजों को डिकंटामिनेशन करने के लिए यूज किया जा सकते हैं। ऐसा कोई शॉर्ट शॉर्ट नहीं है कि बेस्ट कैंडिडेट जो है वो आर्सेनिक और कैडमियम ही है। यस, आर्सेनिक और कैडमियम की डिकंटामिनेशन भी हम करते हैं यूजिंग द प्लांट्स। नेक्स्ट, the harvested hyper accumulating plants can be recycled in agriculture. It's like it's not possible, it's not possible कि एक बार आपने उसकी बॉडी के अंदर हैवी मेटल इतना ज्यादा एक्यूमुलेट हो गया तो वो प्लांट फिर किसी काम का नहीं रहेगा, ठीक है? तो उसको आप दोबारा से हाइपर हार्वेस्ट नहीं कर सकते, हाइपर एक्यूमुलेटिंग प्लांट को दोबारा से रिसाइकल नहीं कर सकते एग्रीकल्चर में, दैट ऑप्शन इज गॉन, right? Tata and bye bye for that option. So only two statement here is correct, A and B, right? A and B statement is correct और A and B option खाली एक ही में है आपका, which is option number 2. So option number 2 here would be the correct answer. सबको क्लियर है ये? किसी को कोई डाउट तो नहीं है इसमें क्वेश्चन में? देखिए, there would be question जो आप खाली स्टेटमेंट पीसफुली पढ़ेंगे और रिजॉल्व करेंगे, then you will be able to answer them well. Is it clear? जब आप उसको पीसफुली पढ़ेंगे, इजीली आंसर करेंगे, तो आपको आराम से वो क्लियर होगा, कोई इशू नहीं है उसके अंदर। एनीवन हैविंग एनी डाउट इन दिस? जल्दी बताइए। चलिए जी, चलिए आगे आ जाइए, आगे आ जाइए। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन पे मूव करते हैं, 54th क्वेश्चन पे। यहाँ पे सब कुछ हमने मेंशन किया हुआ है about this phytoremediation strategy for the decontamination of heavy metal. Now we will be talking about the next question, which is 54, and this question have been picked from EIA, Environmental Impact Assessment, and this question is being specific to your 2006 draft of EIA, not from 2020, right? Though we were expecting the question from 2020, but the examiner preferred to ask theory from 2006 draft, right? So it's a well repeated question, multiple times it have been repeated, that which of the following categories of developmental projects does not require an environmental impact assessment EIA report, right? तो इसका हम थोड़ा ब्रीफिंग पहले देख लेते हैं, उसके बाद हम आएंगे कि क्या क्वेश्चन है, क्या ऑप्शन है, ठीक है? तो ये तो आपको सबको पता है कि आफ्टर 2006 अमेंडमेंट EIA साइकिल कंप्राइज ऑफ स्क्रीनिंग, स्कोपिंग, पब्लिक हियरिंग, अप्रेजल, राइट? अब देखिए यहीं पे मेंशन हमने कर दिया है, स्क्रीनिंग आ गया आपका, स्कोपिंग आ गया, पब्लिक हियरिंग, अप्रेजल। कैटेगरी ए प्रोजेक्ट रिक्वायर मैंडेटरी एनवायरमेंटल क्लियरेंस एंड दस दे डू नॉट अंडरगो द स्क्रीनिंग प्रोसेस, इनको तो चाहिए चाहिए। कैटेगरी बी प्रोजेक्ट अंडरगो स्क्रीनिंग प्रोसेस एंड दे आर क्लासिफाइड इनटू टू टाइप। दो कैटेगरी होती है बी में, एक होता है आपका B1 और एक B2, दिस इज B1 बेसिकली, राइट? B1 एंड B2। सो कैटेगरी B1 प्रोजेक्ट मैंडेटरी रिक्वायर EIA, इनको तो चाहिए चाहिए, लेकिन जो कैटेगरी B2 के प्रोजेक्ट है दे डू नॉट रिक्वायर एनी EIA, राइट? सो जो B1 प्रोजेक्ट है, यहां पे भी इसको B1 कर लीजिएगा, दिस इज नॉट कॉमन। So B1 project undergo complete EIA process where category B2 project are excluded. So the correct answer should be B2. So the correct answer should be B2 projects, right? Because the question में they are asking not require an environmental impact assessment report. So the correct option here is B2. Benefits we have already mentioned, EIA quality, lack of ability. So all the details have been mentioned for your reference. Now, once again, let's come to the question. It says, which of the following categories of developmental project do not require any EIA? So, इस पे पूछ रहा है आपसे क्या? Not require. So that is none other than your B2 category of the projects. So category B2 project do not require any EIA, and hence option number 2 is the correct option for this question. Is it clear to everyone? This is a repeated question multiple times that have been asked in NTA. Anyone having any doubt in this? Question number 54. Anyone, any doubt? जल्दी बताइए भाई फटाफट से, quickly, quick and fast. जल्दी जल्दी, quick and fast. Anyone having any doubt? चलो चलो आगे चलते हैं क्वेश्चन नंबर 55 पे. Question number 55. So this is a question from rock and mineral once again. Okay, very easy question. Yes, टेस्ट में भी था ये क्वेश्चन. बिल्कुल सही बात, टेस्ट में भी था. Absolutely true. Okay. टेस्ट में भी था, मैं इसको डिनाई नहीं कर रहा हूं. देखिए दो तरह के रॉक होते हैं, एक होमोमॉर्फिक रॉक होते हैं, एक हेटेरोमॉर्फिक रॉक होते हैं. हियर दे हैव आस्क्ड अबाउट हेटेरोमॉर्फिक रॉक. So they are asking, it is basically a definition based question, that what do you mean by heteromorphic rock have, or what is heteromorphic rock have, right? So let me tell you, when you talk about heteromorphic rock, so hetero means different, morphic means form. Hetero means different, morphic means form. So different mineral composition, right, arising from similar magma under different condition of crystallization. means दो चीजें different होती हैं उसके अंदर, एक तो different mineral composition and different condition of crystallization, like happen in your Bowman reaction series, right? So different mineral composition as well as different condition of crystallization, this you have to keep in mind. And this will come from similar magmas, because magma source तो same होना चाहिए, तब जाके crystallization की बात होगी. So different mineral, different conditions of crystallization and similar magma. So hence the correct answer for heteromorphic rock is option number 2, which is there. Option number 2, which is there. So different mineral composition and different conditions of crystallization, but similar magma. The magma source should be same, right? So then I will be calling it as heteromorphic rocks. Is it clear to one and all? Anyone having any doubt in this? Abhi hum briefings karenge is question ki, that how it comes. So the correct option here is 2. Question number 55, the correct answer is 2. Yeah. So you can see here that we have mentioned there are few examples illustrate some very important factor concerning the nomenclature and systematic of igneous rock and magma type. First of all, the generally accepted concept according to which the plutonic means intrusive of volcanic rock must fall into the same field of classificatory system in proved to be incorrect in many instances. In fact, as shown in figure 33, heteromorphic equivalents of igneous rock often fall in different field. वो अलग-अलग field में जाके दिखेंगे. On the other hand, volcanic and plutonic rock with very different chemical composition may fall into the same field, leading thus to the erroneous conclusion that they are heteromorphic to each other. जो अभी हमने बात करी कि heteromorphic में आपका क्या-क्या होता है, different mineral composition होगा, and then आपका different ही condition of crystallization होगा, but magma similar होगा, right? Okay, so we can see some more details about this. So here igneous rock type and heteromorphic rock examples are given, different type. Okay, so it have been seen like how they deviate, like all of them are igneous rock type, and then we have these classes QA, F, CI, CE. So they have been mentioned here. Okay, yeah. So these details can be look up, and more details have been mentioned, like given magma crystallized under different physical condition may yield quite different assemblage of stable minerals which have the same bulk chemical composition, like magma should be same, are said to have be heteromorphic to each other because they are going to have different mineral composition, and they are going to have different conditions for crystallization. That's why they are heteromorphic, right? So the two magmas are nearly identical, as I said you, but composition to two different mineral aggregates and result in different cooling histories. So these lines are important. Like mineral aggregates are different, two different mineral aggregates and two different cooling histories. This you have to keep in mind. So I hope everyone is clear with this question. Nobody is having any doubt with question number 55. Yes, 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 yes. अगर इसमें आप कर देंगे सेम मिनरल कंपोजिशन, राइट, ठीक है, सेम मिनरल कंपोजिशन, ठीक है ना, और आपका क्या कहते हैं सिमिलर मैग्मास, ठीक है, देन इट विल बी होमो, होमो, यस यस यस, या देन इट विल बी होमो. क्लियर है? चलो अभी हम क्या करते हैं, वी आर गोइंग टू टेक अ ब्रेक at question number 55, and after 5 minutes we will reassemble and start from question number 56. Right, call will be muted, call will be same, don't leave the call. So we will start from question number 56. We will start from question number 56. Be here, I'm just coming in 5 minutes.